Right, hello everyone. So I'm just here with Sinja. My name is Walt van Amstel. I'm here with Sinja and we're going to talk about our focus areas in the CoE-MaSS program. So Sinja, what focus area are you part of?
I'm part of the number theory focus area.
Yes.
Yes.
And are there any sub-focus areas inside of number theory?
Yes, it's model theory and it's nested under the number theory focus area.
So when you say model theory, I don't think everybody who's listening to this will probably have heard of number theory, but they might not understand why model theory forms part of that picture. So can you give us an idea of what that entails, perhaps?
I think it's because model theory cannot. There are not a lot of model theorists in South Africa, and it has to be part of one of the focus areas if we want to apply.
I see.
Yes, and the closest one, I think, in my research is number theory.
Okay. So you're really, at the end of the day, when you do your research, you're really more just concerned with model theory in and of itself.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Let me mention that model theory is part of the mathematical logics.
Yes.
And at some point, CoE has a logic as a focus area.
Yes.
But I think because of there was not enough logician around here, then they removed that from.
Yeah, the only not like sort of pure logicians that I know of was two other staff members at UP. So it's sort of a rare breed inside of South Africa for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So just to mention it, I'm part of the functional analysis focus area, which is both of us are based at the University of Pretoria, and so functional analysis is a larger group at UP, and yes. Yeah. So and it's also had a very, very long history actually. So it would be nice for other fields like model theory and logic in general, universal algebra and all of these sorts of things to sort of catch up and grow in and of themselves, because there's a lot of emphasis in South African mathematical research at the moment on functional analysis, and there's also a big group in category theory, and I actually work in the intersection of category theory and functional analysis. So
you can also can you then go to category theory focus area?
As far as I know, there isn't a focus area in category theory. It would make sense for there to be. I think it would probably make sense for there to be one, because there's a lot of people at Stellenbosch who work in category theory. So, but if you talk to someone like Professor Zurab Analitsa, you'll say that category theory is more something that is intrinsically interdisciplinary, where it's not necessarily that category theory is something that you want to study in and of itself, although there are people that do that. It more shows its true strength when it's in the context of another field. Exactly. And that there's obviously deep connections with model theory as well. And yes, so I'm at the at the horizon of trying to learn how to apply category theory and functional analysis. So this is interesting. I'm just wondering, so you're in number theory, I'm in functional analysis. Is there any other particular focus area of the CoE that you'd be interested in working in if you weren't busy in model theory?
Yes, there is. I would say algebra and topology, because remember when I say that logic was removed?
Yes.
Then I was placed into algebra and topology before the number theory came in.
Yes.
And I'm also interested in graph theory.
Yeah. So did you do any sort of more graduate level algebra topology courses when you were doing your honors or your masters, for example?
Yes, I did have a lot of.
So what did you do? Like Galois theory, or what did you guys do?
We did Galois theory. We did that, We did algebra, like homology and those stuff as well.
You did actually do a homology theory?
Yeah, I did that at some point,
Where did you do this?
When I was at Ames.
At Ames? Yes. Yeah, so this is actually interesting. Yeah. That was your project?
Yes.
You did a project so you did like a... So you did a mini dissertation on homology theory.
Yes.
Okay. Who was your advisor?
Pierre Shapira.
Okay. Is he based somewhere else?
He's in France.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of the I can think about one person that works in algebraic topology, but I actually didn't know anybody who works in homology theory. Now you actually did something in homology theory, so that's good to know. You also mentioned graph theory. Is there anything that strikes your fancy there? Have you done coursework in graph theory?
Yes, of course, at times.
Again?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Yes, you guys have a proper rigorous course at AIMS, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's actually funny how... Yeah, there are some people at UJ, and I believe mostly at UJ, that do research in graph theory. But at UP, we have zero graph theorists. Although graph theory is actually very interesting, and it's also a topic that you can actually, if you wanted to reach out to students in high school, I can imagine that graph theory would be very easily accessible to them because it's easy to understand the problem, but in terms of actually solving it, that's a different matter. So yeah, graph theory is very cool.
And it's very strong in South Africa now, and it was just added to the focus area, I think.
Yeah. Which one?
Graph theory.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. So you mentioned that that algebra and topology is definitely a strong side interest for you. You also mentioned graph theory. So what do you think about graph theory? What do you like to research there?
Yeah, since graph theory is one of the emerging focus area in South Africa, I would like to work in the domination in the graph. So what about you?
Yeah, so I think two particular focus areas of the CoE that I would certainly at some point like to return to perhaps in research is mathematical physics, looking a little bit at relativity theory that other people in South Africa are looking at, and also actually number theory, where you're now technically involved, because I've actually done some research in that area in my master's. But so it's nice that through our mathematical careers that both of us have been exposed to quite a diverse range of topics, and this is ultimately one of the very nice things about the CoE-MaSS program. So thank you, Sanjay, for joining me in this discussion, and thank you everyone else for watching.
Thank you.